right, y'all. So rumor has it that NBA 2K26 is going to be reminiscent of one of the best 2Ks in 2K history, NBA 2K19. It looks like Mike Wang just might do away with the shifting green windows. The extreme RNG in NBA 2K25 might be a thing of the past. Nobody's getting participation trophies in NBA 2K26. Skill, it's gonna reign supreme. But that was the beautiful thing about NBA 2K19. You could play however you wanted. Not only were you able to be good in your respective role, you were able to dominate. Whether you were a slasher, a big man, a shooter, a playmaker, or even a lockdown. It was almost like every position was feared. In NBA 2K25, our capabilities were capped. The abilities that were supposed to be allowed on your builds through attributes were just a bit too restrictive. A lot of our attributes just didn't translate on the court. Apparently, we can now expect a whole lot more. 2K seems like they're taking the cuffs off, stepping back, and just letting gamers play. In this video, we're gonna be talking about some changes you guys can expect for NBA 2K26. If any of you guys are new here, consider dropping a like and a sub. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's get to the video.
It's AllCity. Load up that clip.
Now, I'm not sure if a lot of you new jacks to the 2K franchise know about this stuff, but normally, whoever's on the cover of the game is usually like the meta for the gameplay of that particular year. That's been a rumor in the 2K community for as long as I can remember. SGA's on the cover for NBA 2K26, and it's been confirmed by a 2K insider that we could expect big guards to be primary ball handlers. And in order to have big guards to be effective ball handlers in NBA 2K26, we're gonna need a lot more space. We're gonna need larger courts. As on the defensive side, we can now expect taller, effective defense, taller lockdown builds, no longer capped by the restrictions of NBA 2K25. You know, there was a rumor that spread through the 2K community that in Season 8, all animations were going to be unlocked for all players. That rumor, it turned out to be false. False for NBA 2K25, but more than likely true for NBA 2K26. One of the things that I'm most excited about, shooters will be able to shoot again. Even low 3-point builds shooting out the corner. Man, I tell you, it's just gonna be a breath of fresh air. 2K is finna bring the fun back, or at least that's how it seems. Uncle DEMI recently dropped a video discussing a lot of the expectations for NBA 2K26. We finna react. Let's load up that clip. All right, y'all, so I've compiled a bunch of key points from 2K Insider Uncle Demi's video, dropping nuggets about NBA 2K26. Here's some of the things that you guys could expect.
What I will say is that, you know, big guards, big builds will have, you know, a really good opportunity to dribble in 26. So if you're looking to have bigger builds that beforehand just couldn't get the SIGs and animations, as the NBA starts to progress and these guys are getting bigger, taller, and being able to handle the ball, you can feel confident in having a guard build, a lead guard build that can dribble as your primary ball handler. A lot more.
You know, I know a lot of you guys have not even experienced what it's like to dribble effectively with taller builds. I'm curious to know how many of you guys would actually like to see taller builds, taller, effective primary ball handlers on the court. Sound off in the comments. I'm gonna let this continue on.
Open space. As you can see, you're capped out at 6'7". Expect to be able to be a little bit taller at the point guard spot. All right.
So right now, NBA 2K25, you're capped out at 6'7" at the point guard position. Uncle Demi saying, dropping the nugget that we're going to have taller builds at the point guard position. You can go higher than 6'7" on NBA 2K26. That's exciting.
I can say here is that, as you can see here, 78 is where you're capped at. What I will say is that effective dribble moves will be giving to the taller builds. So again, you know, we're capped out here, but expect that. Also, dribble styles, expect the dribble styles to also help tailor for the bigger builds to be able to dribble. Expect the builder to be the same, almost about the same.
So it seems like 2K is removing height restrictions on animations. If you create a taller point guard build and you have the attributes to meet the requirements for a particular animation, you guys will be able to make that happen on NBA 2K26.
I mean, you know, it's been the same since 2K21. Expect it to still be the same.
Talking about the builder.
You know, everything is going to be free-formed again. So expect it to be Some of the same situation stuff with like cap breakers and that type of stuff.
Cap
Expect
breakers.
that also too.
Cap breakers are coming back for NBA 2K26. For me, that was like a no-brainer. I don't see NBA 2K just going away from what made them so much money in NBA 2K25 and kept players engaged. A lot of players just went through the season to get that cap breaker. They even purchased level skips to get that cap breaker. It was one of the most exciting things in NBA 2K25 that kept us, developing our players. And I really liked creating builds, adding up how many cap breakers. So while I'm creating my build, I factor in the amount of cap breakers I have and intend to get in the future. It's good to hear that 2K is bringing back cap breakers.
Be back, okay? Also, when it comes to big man contact dunks, expect that to not be capped at 6'10". Expect that to be just solely based on your standing dunk rating. So if you're able to get that standing dunk rating to get the pro contact dunks, which is an 80. So if you're 6'6" and you're able to get an 80 standing dunk, then you can get the big that standing contact dunk. That's a good quality of life.
Definitely a good quality of life change. What's happening here is that they're removing the height cap restrictions. As I mentioned earlier, the rumor was that height cap restrictions were going to be removed in Season 8 of NBA 2K25. That didn't turn out to be true, but what DEMI is describing here is height cap restrictions being removed for NBA 2K26. I'll let him play on.
Right there. From the shooting standpoint, one thing I will say is that expect shooters to get more of that 2K.
Did he say shooters?
19 type feel, type vibe. You could have a lower rating and still be able to shoot.
Oh, Lord, I can't begin to tell you some of the best shooters that I've ever seen throughout my years playing NBA 2K games were on NBA 2K19. But it wasn't like defense wasn't there. NBA 2K19 has some of the best lockdown defense in any 2K game. Point being is that you had to be skilled in the position you were playing. If you were an elite shooter and a weak defender, the offense is going to win. Same goes vice versa. But when you match up an elite lockdown versus an offensive threat type of point guard, oh man, it was just such a good thing to watch. If 2K gets rid of this restrictive type of gameplay, we could expect to have fun again in NBA 2K26. A lot of people feel like 2K26 is basically 2K25.2. What Uncle DEMI is describing here is reverting back to the heyday of 2K games. I'll let him continue on.
It's almost like going back to the roots, man, of where, the game where people were really having a lot of fun with that. The movement, what that's going to be is really going to be predicated on, how well pro play is implemented after, I think this is his fourth year for 20.
So from what I understand, it's the fourth and final year for pro play to be incorporated into 2K games. This means that you're no longer, like, your animations are no longer vacillating between two separate motion engines, like the old way of capturing motion, where NBA players will put on those motion capture suits, to now capturing motion and having you guys animate motion that was captured through NBA IRL footage. I gotta say that Uncle DEMI, he doesn't sound too confident that pro play is going to be incorporated properly, but
it's up
in the air.
Something that will allow the game to be run a little bit more smooth and not as slower. I know a lot of people like the faster pace. Defensively, basically expect kind of similar in line of what it was this year as far as the cap breakers to be able to get certain things. But what I will say is that expect the 6'10" and taller builds to be able to get stuff like on-ball minutes and that type. So right now you see how it's capped off, and able to get the on-ball minutes. Expect to be able to get that and not be capped off with that. It's going to be interesting when it comes to lockdowns, because since you are able to, potentially be able to get, clamps and that type of sort, again, them 2K19 vibes of those 6'10" lockdowns that were running around that people hated them 6'10". I had a 6'10" lockdown in 19, so but again, you can kind of expect that. Expect my 6'10" lockdowns, expect, 6'10" guard builds or dribbling builds. Big builds will be able to get it. Smaller builds are going to have some fun too. Don't get it twisted.
You guys heard it straight from Uncle DEMI. you could expect to see taller builds being effective primary ball handlers in NBA 2K26. But that doesn't mean that smaller builds aren't going to have their place. I mentioned just a second ago, some of the best shooting builds that I've ever seen in 2K games throughout the years were in NBA 2K19, and these were smaller shooting builds. I mean, we used to have to send 2 defenders after those guys to make sure they ain't hitting them shots. Now, it sounds like NBA 2K intends to bring the fun back for 2K players. But after my experience playing NBA 2K25, I'm just not sure how capable NBA 2K is to make that happen. Over the last few years, they've been going down a winding road that very quickly turned into a slippery slope. Do you guys believe NBA 2K could climb out the hole they dug themselves? Sound off in the comment section below. Will NBA 2K26 bring the fun back? You guys let me know. Drop a like, drop a sub on your way out, and I'll catch y'all on the next video. Easy, y'all. If you guys are tired of running with randoms and you're looking for players to run with on NBA 2K, come on out and join the AllCity 2K Discord. The link will be in the description below. Find players and get runs now. Drop a like and drop a sub on your way out. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.